Good evening, folks. It's Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Happy Election Day Tuesday. Today is November 8th, 2022. Let's discuss jobs and votes. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics. Tonight on Election Tuesday, November 8th, 2022, let's discuss city jobs and votes. How many lost hope due to jobs for votes? Good evening, folks. How you doing? I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight's election night, obviously, and I'm trying to look at some of the results. I don't know if you have any on there. I'm seeing zero. Maybe they not reporting yet. I see 0%. Not sure what's going on. Anyway, folks, I want to talk about today city jobs and votes. It's only appropriate, it being election day. And I want to talk about the connection between city jobs and votes. How do city and jobs, the family and friends network, impact elections? We've been discussing the potential ending of term limits, right? And we know, most of us, that the city council will most likely do it. And this has been proposed before. It was extended once and back in 2018. But that wasn't the first time. John Spencer? I'm sorry, Spencer, former Mayor Spencer, also wanted to modify the term limits. However, there was a difference there. He put it to the people, and the people didn't want it. And so he passed the torch to Phil McCone. But in 2018, it was done differently. In 2018, Majority Leader at the time, Michael Sabatino, and the Minority Leader, Mike Breen, who is the current Minority Leader and currently running against Nader Sage this evening, he's going to know whether or not, or maybe if it's a close race, they may have to, but he should know by tonight whether or not he will be the new assemblyman for the 90th district, or will he lose and remain the city council for the 5th district, the minority leader, like he was back in 2018 when he proposed, along with Michael Sabatino, modifying the term limits. Michael Sabatino, still around. Matter of fact, he was in a video I posted, and if you didn't see that, of the protesters. And I don't know if you know that there were protesters at the Joe Biden event at Sarah Lawrence, and I love the way that they did it. I love the way that these protesters did it. They spoke out, shouted out, one at a time, right? First one would go, then they come, they remove him, he'd shout out, her shouting until they remove him. And then all of a sudden, Biden starts talking again, and then here comes another person, right? And they kept doing that. I thought that was dope. Yeah, because it made it difficult for them to identify them all at once, get them all out at once. There were a lot of hecklers. I wouldn't call them hecklers. That seems negative. There were a lot of people protesting Biden at Sarah Lawrence. And in one of the videos that I posted, you can see Michael Sabatino along with his husband, Robert Voorhees, with the pink hat, and they're turning around because the guy's directly behind them. But anyway, Sabatino back in 2018, and I'm sure he still is, was a Republican. He was the majority leader and a political insider. When he proposed the modifying of the term limits, then it was passed and he was rewarded with a city job. So currently he is the director of constituent services, making $120,000 a year. So there's his reward. There's his city job for a vote. His husband, Robert Voorhees, also had a city job, but I hear he recently retired. Too many city employees have additional sources of income. This is another issue. It's not like these city jobs are their primary source of income for many folks. So they are preventing others from getting a job because they have done a favor, and now they are taking taxpayer money as extra income, right? The taxpayer money is just icing on the cake. Mike Breen is expected to propose this once more, folks, after the elections are over. This time, the majority leader is Tasha Diaz, who will do whatever she's told, and we know that. I mean, a woman that lives in affordable housing did not have enough empathy to make sure that the new affordable housing ordinance that would have increased the requirement for buildings being built, which are many now, she voted against it. She didn't make sure that it passed. And she lives in affordable housing, but she was doing as she was told. And for that, she was rewarded as and became the majority leader. And I hear if she does this, and supports the ending of term limits, she will most likely become the city council president. And boy, is she looking forward to that. President? Imagine that. President. The reasoning back in 2008 for proposing the term modification legislation was because, they were saying that, they had this momentum. It was the same reason that they are trying to give now, right? We're moving along. Things are happening. We don't want to stop the progress. And that was exactly the same reason and justification that Spencer gave back in the early 2000s. But again, Spencer at least put it to the people, because it should be up to the people to decide if we want to end term limits or extend them. It should be up to us. They learned that in 2008, obviously, that if you put it up to the people, however, it's probably not going to happen. So they have to utilize and rely on the city council. And we know how the city council is and who they are, right? But again, they're trying to suggest that that the people want this because we want to see this progress and this momentum continue. And that's why supposedly the Mexican Chamber of Commerce recently wrote a letter to the city council endorsing and supporting a fourth term. But I want to know exactly what is this momentum and this progress that's happening here in the city of Yonkers. Over the past 22 years, we've seen more proposals than actual changes happening here in the city, most coming in the past 5 years, right? We see all these developments happening, and a lot of stuff has been happening, in the past 2 years, right? And we are seeing these changes happening. But it depends on who you ask, whether or not these changes are good. And more people are starting to see what these changes are actually about. Small business owners are getting shut out, forced closed down. People are being pushed out of their apartments as the cost of living goes up. The luxury developments are not only the expensive apartments, but they're causing all the rentals around the area. And this is Southwest Yonkers. You got people now seeing hundreds of dollars a month increases in their rent. And they have to sign a new lease and agree to that. Otherwise, they have to move. And I believe, in my opinion, that it's a tactic to get people out. And this is happening over there in the No Dine Hill section, right? And so are these changes really what people are, saying that they're happy and want to see continue? I mean, again, folks, these luxury developments are very expensive. On average, a one-bedroom will run you $36,000 for the year, but the average person here in the city of Yonkers makes $35,000 a year. I'm sorry, $35,000 a year. And Well, that's unless you work for the city. If you work for the city, you're more than likely to be making 120,000 plus. So many people want a city job. Many people have been applying for city jobs time and time again to no avail. And I like that they recently act like they did something wonderful for the people in lowering the cost of the civil service test from $100 to $50, because they're saying that, we see that the applications to take the test have dropped. So maybe people can't afford it. That's their logic. It's not that. It's that people are not getting the jobs. Even people who are scoring in the top 5, top 3 are getting overlooked because these positions are needed for those who do favors. And unfortunately, many people who need these jobs, because in the city of Yonkers, really, what is really there? What are the industries here? It's you either own a business or you work for the city. Maybe Domino Sugar. But how many of these jobs really provide a wage that people can actually break out of poverty, buy a home, especially now? So it's either you own a business or you work for the city. That's it. That's like the 2 main industries here in Yonkers, right? So people want city jobs, and they almost are desperate for these jobs. And they're not being spread out evenly or equally. And that is adding and fueling and perpetuating the income inequality here in the city of Yonkers. That is why the average person makes $35,000 a year, while the average city employee makes over $120,000 a year. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And so people are so desperate to get jobs that if they can, they call in a favor, or they'll pay for it. Yeah. $8,000, $10,000, because they want a job that's going to make them over $100,000 a year, have benefits and a pension. For many individuals, getting a job like that would be the first in their family. And it would not only be a benefit for them, but for their kids, and help break the cycle of poverty. Because I know one situation where someone had been applying for so long that finally they were willing to pay for it. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. But I'm thinking to myself after that, maybe, a lot of people who called in favors or paid for it, just felt desperate, and they tried to do it the right way. I got another email today, and about jobs. And I won't read the email exactly, but I will kind of paraphrase. The person says that, people are getting overlooked, even people who are scoring high in the top 3, in order to give jobs to certain individuals. No matter how many times they take the test and they score that high, and eventually people are having to call in favors in order to get employed. And people have spoken up about it, but then they are made an example of. And so people stay quiet. Because again, what other jobs are there in Yonkers? You either start a business, you own real estate, or you work for the city. And many individuals who work for the city do all 3. And so not only are they occupying a city job that should be given to someone else, that could really use it, they're making other income at a business, owning real estate, hoarding all the cash. Again, perpetuating this income inequality, folks. Because imagine if they spread the jobs out, if it was a fair process, more people can get jobs. It's not fair that certain individuals could have clean records, be applying forever. Certain individuals will get the job, lose it because they'll commit a crime, and then get it back when they come home. I mean, were they picked up in a city vehicle from the penitentiary? I'm just saying. And so these individuals especially want to make sure that, and not all, because some of them that were trying the right way, right, that were just desperate, maybe had to pay or call in, they don't want to see this continue. But those that are really close, that are true friends and family, that have done things like Michael Sabatino, that have helped to extend term limits, people like Tasha Diaz, who killed the affordable housing ordinance at the bequest of the developers, and will surely vote yes to end term limits, want to make sure that the way things are now perpetuate and continue continuity of this government, right? Anyway, back in 2018, the reason, or one of the things that Breen had said was that 12 years provided a good mix of turnover and continuity, but it looks like he may be, thinking differently. Initially, Breen was agreeing with ending term limits, and then he recently kind of said he was in favor of term limits. And I was wondering, why did that change, Breen? Why did that change? Breen will get another job. Breen will get a job with the city. No doubt about it. Breen will get a job with the city. And one of the things that people say who support ending term limits is that, well, they can still vote for the person, right? People still have the option to vote. They don't have to vote that person again. But that's, not still all the way true, right? Because, yeah, sure, they can. But that person has name recognition. They have relationships that they've built. They have a lot of money that they've raised already. They've been fundraising. Lakeisha Collins Bellamy had a fundraiser recently at Zupta's, although she's got, another 3 years for re-election. So they raised money throughout their, term. And so they have this money built up. So it's hard for any new person wanting to come in to really present a real strong challenge and possibly win. Right? But the truth is, Mike Sabatino and Breen proposed modifying the term limits in 2019 in order to curry political favor, primarily in the form of getting a city job, which Sabatino has done. Mike Breen will do. Remember, mark my words, Thomas Meyer, DPW commissioner, is also the chair of the Democratic Party here in the city of Yonkers, Democratic Committee here in Yonkers. So he has that control over those DPW jobs. And he says, hey, y'all vote this way. You better vote this way or you're out of here. We're going to give you a job to somebody else who will. And they have. Many people got jobs with DPW after last year's elections, right? So that's something that's important. And we have to acknowledge that. And it's tied to why, people would support ending term limits, why people vote the way they do. They have to. Their job depends on it. Some of them at least think. But I think anyone wanting to come in and be the mayor has to make a promise that a lot of people are not going to get fired, because that's what happened when Spencer left and Amacone came in. A lot of Amacone guys, or I should say Spencer guys, got fired, freed up a lot of jobs. But that's not going to happen with a new person that comes in. Sure, some people have to go, but not the average guy that's working over at DPW or police officer, fireman. I think you have to make that very clear, whoever it is that wants to challenge possibly Mayor Spano in next year's coming mayor's race, right? So that's why, I spoke about yesterday I read the letter, the email, I should say, that I got in regards to the Mexican Chamber of Commerce, and whoever sent the email to me wanted it to be known that the Mexican Chamber of Commerce felt, well, some of the individuals at least wanted it to be known that they were cornered or forced into writing that letter in support of the fourth term. And I went and started to do my investigation. So I went over and I spoke to a certain individual in regards to that, and I asked, did this happen? You know, I received an email from someone stating that the Mexican Chamber of Commerce, right, was presented with a $30,000 bill for the police officers that were at the Mexican Independence Festival, Day Festival, whatever it's called, even though they were under the impression that they were going to get that paid for. In other words, that they were going to get support from the city in that way. You had to see the guy's face. You had to see his face. That said it all to me. You know, sales is what I do, right? I read people good, and his face said it all to me. His face said, how the hell did this guy know this? And he denied it, but didn't deny. You're right. He's kind of said, well, he gave me some vague roundabout answer. And he said, yeah, you know, something about that. It's up to the city to take care of it. We put some money in, I put this much. I'm not going to say how much, but it was a very small amount. Very, 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 very small amount compared to the $30,000 amount that I hear was the bill. And this all started really back from the Puerto Rican Day Parade or Hispanic Day Parade, right? This is the division, the manipulation among groups of individuals here in the city of Yonkers. They divide the Latinos and divided the Latinos. And why I speak about the Latino lead like Carmen Goldberg, because she is a part of creating that division. The Puerto Rican Day Parade, that's what it's been called forever, for a long time, right? Well, now here in the city of Yonkers, we have a more diverse Latino population. And so, a lot of people did not want to call it the Puerto Rican Day Parade in order to make everyone feel included or not to make people feel excluded, right? However, the Yonkers Puerto Rican Day Parade organization or whatever, the people that head this wanted to still call it the Puerto Rican Day Parade, but that was a tactic. That was a trick to create division. And so what they ultimately agreed upon was Puerto Rican Day Parade or Puerto Rican Day Hispanic Day Parade. But Puerto Rico Day came first. And many of the flags that were being sold were Puerto Rican flags and Dominican flags. I didn't really see any Mexicans. That's why I didn't put any Mexican flag on my car. I wanted to. And so for that, the Mexican community, particularly the leaders in the community, felt, that they needed their own thing. And so here was an opportunity. That's what in my opinion. Here's an opportunity to get them into a position where we can get them to support this. Hey, let's do a Mexican Day festival. We'll support you guys. Great. Yeah, amazing. Let's do it. Because this wasn't too long after the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And then after the Mexican his Independence Day Festival, they were slapped with a $30,000 bill that they could not afford. And so they made the deal according to the email. But regardless, if people are sending letters to the Yonkers City Council, they should not be deciding whether or not terms are going to be eliminated. It should be up to the people, point blank, period. I mean, they're not even communicating this to the residents, to their constituents, none of the city council members. They talk about it. Mike Breen make a comment about it. John Rubo, others, but they don't talk to the people about it. Say, hey, what does the people want? According to the email, that they also do not want the fourth term, but this was done to make it seem like people want the fourth term. Another individual that doesn't want the fourth term and has made it very clear is the Prince of Yonkers, Prince Robinson. He is the first to announce that he is running for mayor. He was on the YV doing an interview there. He announced actually a while back before we even knew what COVID-19 was. So he was prepared, I'm assuming. So I'm, speaking to more individuals in regards to that email that I got, but I spoke with the individual and, I said, listen, dude, do you support that the Mexican Chamber of Commerce actually write a letter to the city council? He said, yes, a letter was written and sent. I said, so do you guys support them? He said, yeah, we support it. I said, and why is that? Let me ask you. He goes, well, and you see where everything was going on. I said, what's that? The luxury developments? I said, that's not for you. It's not for your people. It's not for our people, Latinos, right? He agreed. A lot of them are getting pushed out, right? Well, that's what's going to be happening even more. A new demographic is starting to move in. He agreed and noticed that. You think that they're going to patronage your whatever, your business? Or will eventually, once your people are out of the area, you too will be gone. Think about it, Latino businessmen and women. You are the leaders of your community. Act like it. Represent your community, not yourself and your interest. And do not allow for us to be divided, because you may be Mexican, you may be Dominican, and I may be Puerto Rican, but we are Latinos. Our people is us. And everyone else who sees what's happening here and does not agree with it and is being impacted negatively. Unity. We must stand together. I said, we have to be united. A lot of people in your community are not happy. Are they benefiting? I said, we have to help our community so that one day these young kids out here could do what you and I are doing. People want to own businesses so they can get out of the poverty. They can get out of the environment that they're in now. And don't you want to see that happen to your people and my people and our people? So it's time that we unite. It's time that we take a stand. 43% Latino here in the city of Yonkers. That's a huge number. And so we cannot allow us to be divided by the Carmen Gomez Goldbergs. And I welcome you to join, Carmen. I welcome you back. Come back to your people. And let's help everyone that are in need of it. Help others get jobs. I mean, you seem to have the magic touch. You're like Midas. I mean, I got people emailing me stating that they, have taken the test, gotten great scores, and still, time and time again, did not get hired. Yet, you managed to get so many of your family in. So how can you get others in? How can you help others, Carmen? Others who are in need, who are looking to break out of poverty, and maybe a real Latina can come from poverty and be a judge. How are you doing that? And why are you not doing that? And so this is what I am going to be speaking up about. And I told this individual this, dude, we have to come together. And I'm not, trying to segregate anyone. It's not about that. I'm just trying to unite a community that is divided. And it's divided by individuals who have an agenda. And these are the people that get the jobs. get the benefits, get the perks, get their businesses, get permits right away. He even said it. I know it's tough. I said, yeah, it's tough if you're not paying people. Right? So the owners of, Dos Maria and Plaza de whatever, and then, La Piñata, make sure you're looking out for your people. They want to own businesses too, one day. Let's work together and show them how to do it. And that's what bothers me. And that's what I'm going to speak up about. That's why I speak out. Because it's not fair. It's not okay. And I want more emails, folks. Keep sending me the emails. I appreciate it. I need those emails because I want to hear what's going on. And we need to know about it. We need to find out, is this truly what happened? Did they write a letter to the council because they didn't want to pay or did not have the money to pay the $30,000 bill? Yonkers City Council, I know you guys watch. You guys do hear about this show. Absolutely. At this point, I know it. You can ignore it. Did they write the letter, and was it because of this? And where are the receipts and all that stuff? Who paid for the permits and all that stuff? I'm going to be looking into that. And we're supposed to be getting some more information and documentation, so stay tuned. I'll be presenting that. Let's see, we got some results here. Oh, man, not looking good, is it? What is it? Oh, no, 74% of precinct Democrats. It's not looking good for Zeldin, according to this. 74.9% to 25.1%. New York is very tough. It's a Democrat, man. It's a really heavy Democratic state. It's tough. It's very tough. Kathy Hochul's doing well in the city. 69.6% of the votes are going to her. Richmond County went to Lee Zeldin. I was going to Lee Zeldin. What about Westchester? Rockland County, not reporting anything. Westchester still has not reported anything, at least according to this. Anyway, I'll talk about those results tomorrow when they come in. But yeah, folks, I just want to talk about that. And I want to say, listen, it's not, it's not okay, man, to the leaders of Latino communities, the African American community, because this is not just happening with Latinos. It's happening also in the African American community, and I'm sure in other communities. Look at the Jordanian community currently. Look at what they're going through, divided. And these folks are very, connected because a lot of them are related. So it's almost like a family division over politics, over jobs. And so everyone out there in the city of Yonkers, if you have applied for a city job and you have applied many times and you have not gotten a job, just know that there are individuals that have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or more family members employed by the city. And so while many remain in poverty, hoping that their application gets called up, these individuals are living the life. Living the life. And it's not okay. And we got to speak about it. And the Latino leaders and the Black leaders here in the city of Yonkers, you guys have to do better. I'm not saying all of you. I'm talking about the ones that need to do better. So if it don't apply, let it fly. But you know who you are. We know who you are. Stop doing for self. Stop going for self. Taking things from other people. Your own people. And we'll be talking about that real soon. I got something about that. It's horrible. Can't wait to get that going also. So, folks, yeah, I'll be talking a little bit more about that whole email from the Mexican Chamber of Commerce once I have more information. Latinos, déjame saber, mándame más emails. ¿Qué está pasando allá en la calle? Déjame saber. Si tiene negocio, está teniendo problemas. Yo soy Freddy Vazquez. Llámame, email me, politicwithfred@gmail.com. And anyone, Italian, Irish, I don't care if you're a human that's having an issue because of this BS, let me know about it. Email me. I appreciate the people that have been emailing me. Thank you. And please let me know if I can read the email or not online. Just make a note of that somewhere. Say, you can read this. Please do not read this. Okay, folks? I want to make sure that I respect your privacy. I want you to know that you can trust me and that I am looking out to ensure that you do remain anonymous. I know how important that is, right? So that's what makes it work. So, please be confident that I will keep it anonymous, all right? Let me know. So, folks, anyway, I wanted to come on and talk about Votes for Hopes. It's kind of like the Tasha Diaz food program, right? Food for votes. Food for votes. And now we got job for votes. And that's not okay, man, because I've been now, I feel bad because I affected somebody. My podcast affected someone and they couldn't get a job. And they have been trying to get a job for a long time, legitimately. And then they were trying to see about a favor, but unfortunately, they couldn't even get the favor because they were related to me. And I thought you guys liked me up there in City Hall. Thought you liked me. Though we was friends. But, I get it. It's politics. I understand. But I feel bad because that person was affected by me. And this person has kids. This could have been a really great thing for this individual. He doesn't have a record, definitely not a felony. Definitely not a felony. He's never robbed nobody. And yet he couldn't get the job because you're related to Freddy Vazquez. Nah. I should leave that out. Leave that separate. Yeah, I was working that out. Leave it away from me. You think affecting other people like that is going to make me stop? That's going to make me feel bad and want to go even harder. That's all I'm saying. It's just going to make me want to do basement politics and really just, I was going to go and be like, all right, don't worry about that. But then I get this the next day. It's crazy. And so I feel bad. And it's not fair. It's not fair because this individual has been trying to get a job for a long time, applying and applying again. It's not about the money. You can lower the fees all you want. But if you're not hiring diverse people, nobody's going to take it after a while. They see it. They see what's happening. And so, that's cool. That's not gonna bother me to the point where I'm not gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do basement politics. I'm still gonna do basement politics. I'm still gonna come on here. It's not done yet. Got a long way to go. There's more information to be put out. So, I was gonna chill on that, but listen, hey, now I got to talk about it because it's not fair, man. It's not fair. I mean, this is what's crazy. Like an individual that has kids, again, living in a city where the only industry is working for the city, or you own a business, trying to get a job with the city. So he could break the cycle of poverty. And he's denied for whatever reason. Then he gets real close, and then he's denied because he is related to me. Well, I mean, I'm not a felon. Why is that hurting him? And even if I was, why would that impact him? Right? But then you got other individuals, family members, many of them got jobs making over $1 million in a matter of 5 years of taxpayer money. Imagine that. And you have enough steam, as they like to say, to get family members jobs who should not be hired. Not just because, they didn't do it the right way, but because other reasons, many other reasons. But they get the job, and they eliminate opportunities for many people here in the city. And so people then remain impoverished. Their kids remain impoverished. And then Elena Gomez Goldberg wants to use the Latina thing while she's at her fancy galas. Get out of here with that, man. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. It's not cool at all. It's not cool at all. It's not cool at all. How do you, and I know about the whole snitching thing too. A lot of snitching happening there. How some people come home already and all that. Maybe we do an episode about that. Maybe we got to do an episode about that incident. That's probably what I'm going to write that down. Do a episode about that incident. You know what I mean? And how this is happening in, in the city of Yonkers. And it's just incredible. What about, we have to commit crimes to get jobs? Thought it was the other way around. In the email that I received, it talks about, what's his name? That Jamal kid. Got a job with Kathy Hochul making $200,000 a year. Let me read the email. I just want to make sure. Damn, I left my phone. I wanted to make sure that I was, saying precisely what was said about him. And this is what I'm saying, and I don't understand this. How is this? Do I have to drive drunk, go the wrong way, and hit someone and hurt them to get a $200,000 job? That's not cool. Akeem Jamal's father, his dad got a job also for the city, IT deputy commissioner. The kid's mother works in the finance department. And his sister also works for the city, working part-time, but gets paid a full-time salary. And people complain about this kid's dad as being a terrible boss and nasty. So this whole family got jobs within a city. Mind you, the kid drives drunk. Wrong way down Central Avenue. Crashes, hurts another individual. Thank God it wasn't a family with kids. Remember that incident over on the Sprain years ago? Where the woman was driving the wrong way and all those kids that got killed in that accident, as well as the 3 men, the father and 2 sons? That's serious business. I drive up and down Central Avenue with my kids. How many of you drive up and down Central Avenue with your kids? God forbid you met up with Akeem Jamal one night, maybe coming home from the new Chuck E. Cheese, right? And this guy's coming home from having a bunch of, shots. God forbid. And what happens? He gets an increase in his pay. They give him a made-up position. Some crazy made-up position where he went from 40,000 or something like that a year to like 90,000 a year in a matter of a few years, just before he went to Kathy Hochul, where he now makes $200,000 a year. So how does this one family all have city jobs? How does this other family all have city jobs? That there should be like a law against that. It should be illegal because it's not spreading the opportunities. And it's creating income inequality. And that is important to understand. If you care about racial inequality, if you care about gender inequality, then you have to care about income inequality. And people should be protesting. The Yonkers NAACP, and I'm not picking on you guys. I'm just trying to see, maybe I'm giving you some new insight here. Maybe I'm showing you something, that you guys maybe don't know. Why it's important to really protest this family and friends network thing, because it's creating income inequality. Now people are getting pushed out of their apartments and their homes because they can't afford to live there as the rent goes up, because they don't have jobs. They never brought the jobs that were promised. And they're not getting hired by the city. So we have this income inequality. Meanwhile, you got whole families working for the city, taking all this taxpayer money for their household. Spread that money. Spread the money. I mean, the way you're giving out these city jobs, it's almost like welfare, right? It's almost like a welfare. You limit the people on Section 8. You limit the people on actual welfare. Limit the people you're giving jobs to. I mean, you got 2 family members. That's enough. We got other families out here in Yonkers that would love to have at least one of their family members to have a city job. Spread the opportunities, because that is perpetuating income inequality, Yonkers NAACP, and is impacting primarily Blacks, if we keep it real, because Hispanics, Latinos have a higher rate of upward mobility. You go down Main Street, that's Latino-owned businesses. Where are the Black-owned businesses? What street is that? Hey, Lakeisha, can you tell me? What about you, Shanae? You, Tasha? Where are the Black-owned businesses? Where's the street that has the Black-owned businesses? Shanae, Bougie Brews, Black-owned, opened up not too long ago. Then bam, Starbucks. And you're okay with that? The owners of Starbucks don't live here. They don't care about Yonkers. They just care about taking the people who live here money. Even if that means shutting down Bougie Brews, because they took the business. God forbid. I hope you guys prosper and stay open for the next 100 years. I really do. But it's just the reality. You got the Irish on McLean, lots of Irish-owned businesses, though some of them don't be Spanish. La Grota used to be, Italian. La Grota, by the way, I'm going to be speaking about La Grota. I think it's time we have that episode on the La Grota parties. So you want to join me for that. The La Grota parties. That's right. La Grota parties on the 2nd floor. So I've seen some of you individuals for the first time. Let's talk about La Grota parties, okay? Listen, hey, let's talk about it in more detail. So make sure you check out for that, because you're definitely going to want to hear La Grota parties. What went down at La Grota parties with some of our business leaders, political leaders, and others. I'll just leave it at that. That's right. Let's talk about the La Grota parties. That's going to be coming up soon, Because if it's F you, if it's F me, you know it's F you. Who's that? DMX from Yonkers. So let's talk about La Grota parties. Because this ain't me. This ain't what I've been wanting to do in my life. I did this because you guys are scumbags. You said F me. So now I'm going to say F you. Talk about La Grota parties. Check that out episode. But yeah, back to that. Janae, Yonkers NAACP, let's keep it real. You had Legacy Denim, black-owned business, guy coming out from the neighborhood. What happens? Forced closed. They did some shady stuff over there with the leases. And he's stuck in the middle. He has no choice. Same thing with the other business, Yummy Yummy. Screwed. Where is the black councilwoman that represents that district to help him? A black business owner. So don't play these identity politics. Stop it. Especially if you're not Latina, don't claim it. Don't claim it. And black leaders, Latino leaders, it's time you step up and start representing your people. Even if that means you may not benefit. Because hell, I'm sacrificing. You think this is going to benefit me? But I don't care about that. I care about speaking about what's the truth, doing what's right for everyone, standing up for what's right. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, when God calls us, we're not going to go with the money. We're not going to go with the homes, the cars, the jewelry. You're not going to be thinking about the vacations. It's not going to matter. But what are people going to say about you after you're gone? And some of you, history will not be kind to. Kathy Hochul, 70 to 29. 70.1 Kathy Hochul to Lee Zeldin's 29.9%. I doubt it. We'll see what happens. Doesn't look good for Lee Zeldin. It's tough. It's tough. Television programming. They run a message by you constantly, and people just buy it and they eat it up and they don't do their own research. And this is why I'm now speaking to my people, to others that are not hip to what's going on here with politics and that need this information. And I got others joining me, and I appreciate to those people, very passionate and strong. And that's what we need. Passionate and strong people to come out. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And we want to move in a different direction. I think that, we want to see something different, fresh idea, fresh face, fresh perspective, right? We don't want to hurt Yonkers, right? I don't think that's what anyone wants who wants to, see change within our political establishment. And it's not a disrespect. It's just we want to see something different. The same few people have been benefiting. You guys have benefited. You did your thing. You got your dough. Have a nice day. Let someone else come in. It's time that we see something. I don't do the identity politics, so I don't want to say, hey, I want to see a Latino mayor just to see a Latino mayor, or a black mayor just to see a black mayor, or a woman mayor just to see a woman mayor. But it would be nice, especially to see a Latino mayor, considering that the city is 43%. 63% of the student body here in the city of Yonkers is Latino. Latino is one of the fastest growing populations here in the city, both in population and in income. And I think that it's time we have a body of government that equally, reflects, the population, And I think we need a new, fresh idea, fresh perspective, someone that wants to really see everyone win, right? As best as possible. Everybody can't always win, but as best as possible, right? And trying to figure out solutions where the majority can benefit and the intentions are there for the people of the city of Yonkers and not people who are going to be coming in. I mean, we're going to have Lionsgate. We're going to have MGM Grand Casino, a hotel. I mean, all that on the east side. Like, this place is going to be like crazy packed, crazy busy, bunch of cars. So, I don't know. And are we even going to get any of that money from that casino? Anyway, folks, I don't know. Oh, it changed 69%. Kathy went down to 31. Lee Zelda went up 2 points. Never know. Ouch, poor Lee. Yeah. See what happens. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddy Vazquez. I'm up out of here. I just wanted to talk about that. It's very important. Income inequality. That's what we are seeing here in the city of Yonkers. And the fact that, few individuals are the ones getting the jobs, that these jobs are hoarded by, certain people, that creates and perpetuates the income inequality that largely affects Black and Latinos here in the city of Yonkers. And I think it's something that the Yonkers NAACP and the NAACP at large should look into, because it truly is affecting and impacting Black African Americans here in the city of Yonkers a lot. I mean, how many, Black heads of departments do you see? How many? Where are the Black supervisors at? Top supervisors? Ever a Black commissioner, police commissioner, DPW commissioner? What about Latino? I know we got Dr. Quesada. You know what I mean? And so we need to have that, in a student body that's, largely Hispanic and Black, there needs to be more Black, especially positive role models, and not just people hired because they're Black. They have to be competent. They have to be qualified, of course, 1000%. Right? And how do we do that? By ensuring that we are educating these kids properly and introducing programs, activities, extracurricular activities that are beneficial, that will make an impact, that will see to it that they become Westchester County DAs one day and not clowns at Ringling, Bailey, whatever circus in the city, because you guys are introducing them to juggling programs as a way to teach them communication. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Please, folks, please, we need to come out and vote. And to the Latino leaders, I'm serious about that. Homeboy, I'm dead serious about that. Right? We coming out, we coming strong. I'm going to pull your card, man. Time to step up and stand up for your people, your community, because they're seeing it and they're tired. And that is why there's a rift. And you know what I'm talking about, because I know. I know. Okay, I try to keep things to a minimum of information. Honestly, I do. I don't really want everybody to know everything, because we got to have some room for like the talking between, to get things done right. Can't always put out everything, but I know. Okay, I know. So let's get it done, guys. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Thank you, folks. See what happens. See if we're gonna have a new governor. If we're gonna have the same governor. I don't know, but next year we definitely got to come out and vote.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
I am Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. This was your jobs for votes episode. How many lost hopes due to jobs for votes? And what do I mean by that? I mean that many people have lost their hope of getting a city job due to others getting these jobs because they support and vote for certain candidates and continue to do so. I'm Freddy Vazquez. I've got 2 good episodes coming up. Make sure you tune into those 2 episodes. It's going to be La Grota parties. That's 1 episode. I'm going to go into all the details about La Grota parties. La Grota party. Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, we're talking about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, baby. That's right. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And also, let's discuss the incident on Mooresmere. That's right. That's what I'm calling that episode. The incident on Mooresmere. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Make sure you stay tuned into Basement Politics. Continue to share the show. Continue to let a friend know.
Freddy wins.
That's messed up, what y'all did to homeboy, man. Should have kept me out of that.
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
In another one, Mr. Rumo lied to me. And I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics
Yo,
with my
John
dad,
Rubo.
Freddy Vazquez.
Yo, John Rubo, how's that perfect solution going? Can I interview you about that business? A perfect solution. John Rubo, Inc. Can I interview you about that business? I'd like to know. By the way, Kathy Hochul is at 67.5%. Lee Zeldin, 32.5%. He is going up. She is going down. What does that mean?
I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want somebody to butter chicken. So thank you.
Freddy
I want to end this quick.
fatality.
Yeah, let's talk about that perfect solution, John Rubo Inc. What is that company about, John? What do you do there? What do you be doing there? I mean, like, tell me, like, you processing credit cards? Like, whose credit cards are you processing? Is that a lucrative business? Like, what are the profit margins on that?
I was raised in housing.
Is it a lucrative business? Like, credit card processing? Like, where can I find your website? Maybe I might need you. I take credit cards, or and debit cards and all that stuff. Maybe you can save me on my processing fees, man. Can I call you for a consultation or something? Can we meet up? I'm looking for a new credit card processing provider.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
I'm saying I'm trying to give you the business, John. I know you. All right? I'm going to be calling you about that company because I'm looking for a new company to process my credit card payments, John. So I'll be giving you a call tomorrow, man. Maybe you get a new client. You excited? You should be.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Yeah. Maybe, I know I'm not as big as AMS, but I still do some credit card transactions. Dave Tubiolo, how you looking over down the east side, southeast side? David Tubiolo, how's everything, my brother, man? How's everything, Dave?
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Dave, you want to come on and join me on that La Grota party episode? I would love to have you on. Let's talk about it.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Damn, nigga, I want my $4,000.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Dave Tubiolo, if you're available, let me know. I'll have my office give you a call. What day would you be available, man? It's pretty simple, too. I just send you the link. You can do it from anywhere in the world. And you can join me live on Basement Politics. And we can discuss La Grota parties.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
What was your favorite moment, Dave?
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Man, slowly but surely, the information that you guys really want to hear is going to be coming out.
Freddy wins.
Dave, are you with it?
Fatality.
Dave Tubiolo, I know you offered to take me out to eat over there on the east side. I appreciate it. I just never get over on that side. But I would love to have you join me so we can talk about La Grota parties. Did you ever have a cigar? Did you ever smoke one? I don't know if you smoked, right?
Freddy wins.
Remember the conversation we were having on the balcony there? I would love to have you join me. Let me know.
Freddy wins.
Don't forget, folks, La Grota Party episode. You're going to want to hear that. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And also, the incident on Mooresmere, a crime drama.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddy Vazquez.
You know, when down south in the Midwest, you know, a lot of black, African Americans, you know, well, not a lot, but one of the things that some would do is become attorneys. And some of them became very great attorneys in, you know, civil rights cases and all that stuff and lawsuits. And, you know, they earned their stripes taking on municipalities and stuff like that, man. Very powerful.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Thank you for the guidance. Listen, don't forget La Grota parties. The incident on Mooresmere. Let's talk about it.
Freddy
You're gonna want to hear this stuff. I promise.
Fatality.